Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to Hybrid Racing F1. I think this is round 7 in France. So I am back hosting again after missing last week due to the Liverpool derby. So we will get back as to normal. Once some guys start coming out, I'll start bringing you some info, etc. So we've got Bowden on the mediums, everyone else going on the soft compounds. I'll get the mini map on to see if there's any incidents and fastest lap leaders, etc. Yeah, there we go, fastest laps. I will quickly post the links and everything into Discord for the guys who aren't subscribed. If you do want to subscribe, give me a shout out, say hi, get your predictions in. Hopefully everyone can hear me because I've been trying to sort my mic out a little bit. So let's see, we have, let's jump on board with Dino. So we've got a few guys sitting in the pits waiting for the track to warm up a little bit. 15 drivers today, a couple are missing. I think there's a few spare places for any guys that want to come in and fill in for guys. I think Dino might just get blocked there. Yeah, he has. That's not very good from the Alpha. Alpha Tauri there coming out the pits and blocking Dino on a flyer. So Dino will have to go again there. Not too sure which Alpha Tauri. Might have been Wallace. He might be getting in a bit of trouble for blocking driver on a flying lap. So we'll jump on board with Pete in the McLaren, see how he gets on. First across the line will obviously set the fastest time, and it'll start getting tumbled down as the faster drivers start coming out. Normal pole sitter Whale sitting in the pits waiting. So we've got Pete just going through the slow chicane onto the fast right-hander to start sector 3. One of the corners you can take a few lines. A few go wide, a few go quite narrow. Esports guys, some of them take a couple of weird lines through that corner. So we've got Whale just coming round to cross the start straight as Dino does a 151, which will obviously get beaten because I think he's slowed down. Yep, Pete does a 131.7, Thomas shoots in with a 133, Whale does a 138. So we will see Whale up the top or there and thereabouts by the end, I think. One of the guys that always seems to set a quick time. So we've got Kemmins, who's a quick driver, out on a out lap. Just about to start his flying lap now as he shoots down the straight. Should be okay, no one's coming out the pits. Got Mercedes ahead of him, but he shouldn't interfere with him too much. Got a McLaren going off in sector 2, unless I think he just might slow down to let the Alfa Romeo through. So Clements doesn't get held up by the Mercedes. Shouts out to Diaguna for a 131.2. Puts him in the Alfa Romeo sandwich. Got an Alfa Romeo who looks like he's spun in the chicane there. Hopefully he doesn't interfere with Clements. Might get a bit of a draft. Little mini slipstream going down into sector 3 maybe. Must have been Ark Hilly that spun. Yeah, Wales in the pit, so it was Ark Hilly. Not gonna say the commenter's prediction was correct, as we got Clements just coming round. Last couple of corners to cross the start finish line. Quite clean lap, don't see many incidents. And he goes second with a 138.92. Wales just pipping him with a 138.35. So gives a shout out in chat. See who you think's going to get pole. Thinking the pole time's probably going to get down to a 132 maybe, once it starts quickening up. Got Bowden with a 132.1 on mediums. Put a lap in, as we will shoot down and see how Wardy gets on. Ballsy and Thomas, the only... oh no, Dino as well. The only 3 guys from... around the planet. On the track. Flying lap. I do actually like France as a track. I know everyone says it's just one big painted. Tricky sections, fast sections, and places where you can fully send it on the last lap. So it should be quite interesting. Wolsey, who's gone fastest in sector 1, I think. As he's shooting down sector 2 into the chicane, where you can make up or lose a lot of time. Nice exit out of that. Fastest in sector 2, so looks like a good lap for Wolsey. If he can keep it tight and keep it steady, he should be looking to move up into the top 10 quite comfortably. Just the right hand corner to go and across the start straight. And only 9th. I must have lost quite a lot of time in the 3rd sector of that lap. Well, we have got... a couple still sitting in the pits. Lycorius yet to do a lap. Got WPUI who's jumped into third with a 1:31.0. We'll jump on board with Ben the Burn in the Alpine, as he's just coming around sector 3 to start his flying lap. It's 7 minutes to go in quali, and it's still Whale at the top. So no qualifying. Still be on track. No DNF incidents or crashes. Just that one. Looked like Dino was blocked a little bit on his flying lap. Dark Hilly has jumped into the 130s to join Whale and Kennets. Daguna just in the 130s as well. A couple in the 131s, so from first to second we've got 3 seconds. Wallace will be looking to improve on that on track position. A couple of decent overtakes early on. We've got Ben the Burn to complete his first flying lap as he comes down the final right hand onto the start straight. Keeps it nice and tight in the lines, shoots up to the finish line. And he moves up to which pushes Thomas and Wolsey down. So we'll jump on board with Monster as he starts his out lap. Looking good for the Alfa Romeo boys again. Only one McLaren to cheer on this time. So 1/10 between the top 4. Should be quite close, and to be honest, WPUI is only one. Guys at the top. Thomas yet to still stick in his all for nothing fast flying lap that he normally makes. We've got going on. So jump on board with the Mercedes. He's invalidated, so he might just recharge his battery and go for one more. Oh, he's decided to pit. Should have enough time to get another set on. Trying to jump on board with Bowden. So we've got Bowden, VX and Wolsey on outlaps. Wolsey will be hoping to improve on that time to get further up the field. Bowden, who shows good pace during the race, pretty clean with his overtakes. He's been doing well in the last couple of races that I've been doing comms on. Quite unlucky in Canada with a couple of incidents where he'd get up there and then an incident had happened and then he'd have to battle back again. But he'll be hoping to get further up there. Got Whale going out. Try and cement his pole time. A couple of more of the guys are going. So we got VX starting his flying lap. He's come through sector 1, braking down to the sharp right-hander. Swoops right round to start sector 2 and power down to the chicane. So top 5 are all going out now. Probably triggered by Whale going out. So into the final 1 minute 30 seconds. This is where everyone needs to hook up the optimal lap. A couple of guys just warming the tyres in the background. Still the same top 5 with Whale, Kemmons, Hilly, Daguna, WPUI. Got VX just coming round now. Last couple of corners to see if he can jump up. Try and get up further up the grid to help out his teammate in 4th. And VX will come across the line and he will be 7th. So slight improvement. Pushes Pete down who's just gone out on an outlap. Be coming round the started lap. I think he should have enough time. So we'll jump on board with Whale as he tries to cement the pole. Not much between the top 5 as I said. Bowden's not far off that, in fact in 6th. Top 7 split by 4 tenths. So can anyone stop Whale doing the double again? Last corner for Whale. He's already done a 138. .137, slight improvement. So we go down to Kemmons. He's in sector 3. Achilles is coming round to the end of sector 3. Daguna is just behind him, so we'll stay on board with Achilles and then shoot back to Daguna. So one final corner and then the right hand for the Alfa Romeo. Can he improve on his time? A 139 already in. Oh, and he's got pole. Pipped his teammate. Achilles with a 137.5. Daguna is done a 139. And Kemmons pips them. 136 from Kemmons, 137 from Achilles, 137 from Whale, and a 138 from WPUI. So we've got the last couple of guys to come through, which is Pete, who's pitted. Wolsey's just come around to see if he can prove on. No, he's pitted as well. I think that's your pole fitter. Kemmons with a 136. Pushes Whale down to 3rd. So it's a battle of the Alfa Romeos and one Red Bull at the top. I wouldn't say it's a surprise to see Clements up there because I know he's a quick driver, but Whale was quite sitting pretty up there on his own for a while. So that throws the cat amongst the pigeons in a way. So pole drivers are in first place. We've got Clements, second place Arkilly, third place Whale, fourth place WPUI, fifth Daguna, sixth is Bowden, VX is in seventh, right behind him in eighth is Thomas, ninth is Pete, 10th is Wolsey, 11th Monster, 12th Dino, 13th Ben the Burn, 14th Wolsey, Wallace, and 15th is Lycorius. So I think Clements will be hoping for an incident between the two Alfa Romeos and for him to shoot off into the distance. Daguna will be wanting to get past WPUI so he can chase after Whale and Arkilly. So tyre strategies are going to come into play, quite significant. I think you can probably easily go hard medium, but if you want to go for the faster strat, then medium soft. But it doesn't look like I got my wish of a wet race. Ooh, it's looking grey though. Could we see rain later on? So we're just waiting for guys to have a mini break and sort themselves out ready for the race. Well, my prediction's going to be, and I hope that it rains with about six to 5 laps left, and some people risk it and some people don't. I mean, looking at how dark it is, the rain might actually come earlier. So I've just got the guys setting off with the formation laps. So I'll just go through the grid again to remind everyone. So in first place we've got the Red Bull of Clements, second the Alfa Romeo of Arkilly, third his teammate and championship rival Whale in the other Alfa Romeo, got WPUI in the lone Mercedes, Daguna in the Aston Martin in 5th, Bowden, one of the Ferrari drivers, in 6th, VX in the sister Aston in 7th, Thomas right behind him in the other Ferrari in 8th, Pete the Sol McLaren driver in 9th, Wolsey in the Alfa Romeo in 10th, we've got Monster in the first Haas in 11th, right behind him is teammate as we see a car slipping off. Track looks wet actually. We've got Ben the Burn in 13th in the lone Alpine, Wallace in the other Alpha Tauri in 14th, and Lycorius in 15th. And I think it might be raining. No. Just with people sliding about a bit. So, predicted top strategies, lap 15 to 20. But as I said, if it rains, it could be earlier than that. So let's see what tyres everyone has got on. Ooh, soft at the backs, hards and mediums. So Lycorius is going soft, hard. A couple of guys going for the hards because if it rains later on, then they can switch. Got Arkilly disqualified. Cars spinning everywhere, trying to warm the tyres up, looks like it. So we'll get to the Mercedes just coming through. Getting 4th, and we will get a bird's eye view of what's going on. Helicopter view should do nicely. And it's 5 lights. And it's go. Good start from Daguna in 5th. Looks like he's got the inside on a couple of the guys that didn't get such a great start, and he shot round the inside. Great start for Daguna. Oh, it's tight with the Mercedes. Looks like he's survived it though, WPUI. So Daguna has gone from 5th to 1st with a great start round the inside. Got a battle with Kemmons and WPUI as the Red Bull gets through on the inside. Ferrari trying to join the party, and a Haas I think up there. Or it could be an Alfa Romeo, might be the Alfa Romeo whale. So Daguna has opened up a 1.5 second lead from WPUI. We've got Kemmons right on the tail of the Mercedes as they all streak down to the fast chicane, slipstreaming each other. Got a bit of a battle going on with Whale and VX. Couple of incidents at the back, I think. Arkilly has slipped down again to 11th, so his troubles seem to pile up from the start. Kemmons and WPUI having a nice battle around the outside there as they swoop round. See if the Red Bull can get past the arch nemesis Mercedes. So Daguna has now opened a 2-second lead there as Kemmons tries a completely different line to what normal people would take. Bowden right on the tail of the Red Bull. Don't think he'll be able to get past him until DRS comes into play though. Seems to hold on. Nice drive out the corner there from Bowden. So everyone seems to be filing in nicely. Daguna is 2.2 ahead. I'm not sure whether the Mercedes is holding anyone up or it's just because they're battling, but he seems to be putting himself in a healthy position. We've got Whale trying to get past the Ferrari, getting pressured the back from the other Aston Martin of VX. So the big winners in that was Wallace, Ben the Burn and Daguna. The big loser of that is Arkilly. Not so sure how he got from third all the way down there. But everyone seems to just be filing in to a little bit of a DRS train for when it starts. Bowden and Kemmons having a good little battle. Said Bowden always shows good pace in a race. Might just be able to get past. Got pressure from Whale from behind. As we have a look at the Red Bull, DRS will be enabled soon enough to help him out. Kemmons is just slipping off the back of WPI. He gets a great race, Bowden, as he slips through on the Red Bull. Mediums versus hards. As the track starts getting colder towards the wet weather, then hards will struggle slightly to keep warm. Looks like Kemmons might be struggling a little bit as he's got Whale right on his tail. Don't know if he'll have the pace to get past him on the long straight. Has a little look. VX is right on Whale's tail as well. He might be getting interested in this soon. 2.8 seconds ahead now is your leader Daguna from 5th place on the grid into 1st on the first corner. We've got Whale trying to send it round the outside of Kemmons, both on hard tyres. 1st and 2nd on the pole as Whale does get through. Looks like Kemmons might be struggling with his setup a little bit. He has now got VX right behind him, and also Ben the Burn is right behind VX. As we just look backwards, see if the Alpine can get past the Aston. Onto the start straight, should have the help of DRS. The only guy who won't have it is Whale. Everyone files through the sharp S's. Start of sector 1. We've got a change up ahead. As Bowden gets past WPUI, can he get back? Medium tyres seem to be working slightly better in the early couple of laps than the hard tyres. I can see Flexibrain. So the soft tyre guys might have had the advantage here, but there was only one of them. So who will dive in for intermediates first? So I did predict a wet race, as it always seems to do at France. So see a couple of flecks, but once DRS gets disabled, then that will be the time people will be jumping onto intermediates. Depending on how heavy the rain comes, they might sit it out for a bit and jump straight onto wets, but Daguna seems to be putting in a couple of quick laps, just in case he does need to jump onto intermediates. He can get in and out the pits in time. So Bowden is right on the back as we go to the back of the grid. No one risking it yet. Oh, a couple are coming in. Wallace's pit, Dino's pit. So guys up the top, I'll stay. I think that's a bit early, to be honest. So WPUI has got back past Bowden in the Mercedes. Let's just see if he has got Whale on his tail. Yeah. So the hard tyres might just be struggling to keep them warm as it starts getting wetter. Kemmons is now 1 second off the back of Whale, struggling to stay in the DRS. Thomas in 9th in the Ferrari, lost 1 place. Achilles battling his way back up after the earlier incident that seems to be his trademark at the minute. Just seems to be that one unlucky guy. Dino's picked up the first lot of penalties. So we've got the guys at the back on intermediates. I think it's a bit early for intermediates. I'd probably say another 2 laps maybe. None of the lead guys seem to be thinking about pitting yet. Nope. So Daguna is now 4 seconds ahead, so we'll just pop up and give him a bit of TV coverage whilst he's pitting for intermediates. WPUI is opening up a bit of a gap now. Bowden still on his tail though. 4 tenths. Whale right on Bowden. So we've got the same characters at the top as we normally have. WPUI looks like he went a bit wide there, which has let Bowden through and Whale. Can he get back at Whale? Whale looks like he wants to look at Bowden. Ooh, WPUI went very deep into that corner, and that will put Kemmons right back on his tail again. So this is all working very well for Daguna. While all these guys are battling, he is up to 4.7 seconds in the lead now. Bearing in mind he started 5th on the grid, got a blistering start up the inside, stuck it into the first corner in first place. So properly warmed up them tyres, we've got yellow flags everywhere, and that is a full safety car. So who gambles and jumps on intermediates under safety car, or do people stick it out? Oh, Daguna with 5 seconds speeding in the pit lane. That is not helpful. So unless that was a glitch, that is pretty much going to ruin his race. After all the hard work he did to do something like that. Ah, he's got to be gutted. So we have now got Kemmons in the lead, who has stayed out. We've got VX in 2nd place. His teammate unfortunately just picked up speeding in the pit lane penalty of 5 seconds after being 4.7 seconds ahead in the race. So all this hard work has been undone, so he will be absolutely fuming with himself. Got Arkilly in 3rd, so none of the top guys pitted, I don't think. Daguna is obviously jumped onto intermediates because he pitted. Bowden, I think, has also pitted onto intermediates. Yep, so you have got your top 3. So Dino went back onto mediums. So he started on, I think he started on hards. Jumped back in for mediums. And he's in the pits now, is he? No, and he's come back out on mediums and it is pissing down. So that's not a great choice. So will the top 3 guys be regretting staying out, because it does look like it's getting very, very, very heavy, and I think these 4 guys will be coming in. I wouldn't be shocked to see all 4 of these guys jump in the pits, because hard tyres on this track are not going to work. The only problem is they're all very bunched up now, so they're going to screw themselves. Oh, Kemmons has stayed out. VX, Arkilly and Monster has decided to pit. I just don't see hard tyres working on this track. So he's obviously going to go right to the back of the grid because they were all bunched up after the first lap of the safety car, but I don't see hard tyres working once the race resumes. I think Daguna might have played this really well. Obviously he's got the 5-second penalty, which he will be kicking himself about, but if he can get the jump on Arkilly VX, spin and whale, or if there's an incident with them, then Daguna could have played this really well. I think as soon as these guys on hards, Kemmons, VX and Arkilly try and get the power down in some of the slower corners. The only saving grace for them is if a safety car comes out straight away after the race gets resumed after this safety car. Because I would not want hard tyres with this track. Because there's not a dry line and it's just going to get worse, the rain. So, safety car should... I was going to say... Hopefully they don't lose it in the first corner once they try and get the power down and break away, but they are going to struggle. Because them tyres are going to be cold. So your top three are on hard tyres. Everybody else, Dino, if I was him, I would be jumping in the pit and putting intermediates on. And the safety car decides it wants to stay out again. Oh, and there's what I said about the hard tyres. And Dino has done. I really don't understand why that safety car stayed out an extra lap. He's on a pit. Everyone else keep with it in, drifting back a little bit. Everyone else just trying to get temperature into the tyres. Just going through sector 1, so we should be able to catch the back of the grid. With a horrible sounding Alfa Romeo. So once we go racing, we will stay on board with Daguna on the intermediates, because I think he'll be the one that will be making the passes early on. Which is exactly not what you want under that, so that's going to bunch everyone back up. Hopefully there's no penalties there. Now they've all got to catch back up because of Arkilly's spin on the hards, which is what I thought might happen once it gets resumed, because it's obviously slippy as hell out there. Oh, and as I said that, Kemmons goes, so that leaves VX on the hards to start off the race after seeing his two other hard tyre racers spin off under safety car. So as I said, Daguna could have probably played this really well. So we've got Arkilly in 4th on. And over to you, VX. If I was you, I would let your teammate through and then hold up the rest of the grid. Oh, that's going to cause problems. So VX is gone, Daguna has gone up the inside and will easily have the first corner because he's on intermediates. Little tap from behind. Doesn't seem to be... Ooh, VX is struggling on them hards. So Daguna through into first place as predicted. We've got VX who is slipping all the way down. The two guys who were spinning on hard tyres have now pitted, so I feel sorry for VX there. So Daguna is now 7 tenths up and he flips down the back straight. getting chased by Bowden in second place. Whale having a little look at the Ferrari there, but doesn't seem to be wanting to make that move, so stays behind. WPUI has slipped back from the front three. Might have got held up on the safety car restart. Wolsey is through into 5th. No DRS, I don't think, because of the wet weather, so it'll be down to driver skill. So we've got Wallace making moves on Lycorius in the midfield. Second, Whale 3rd, WPUI 4th, Wolsey 5th. Got Monster getting through. Kemmons has picked up a 3-second penalty, obviously pushing hard. VX is still yet to come round and get them horrible hard tyres off. Got Ben the Burn pitting, who was on intermediates. I wonder if he picked up damage, front wing damage maybe. VX has picked up penalty. Tyres. Who's now pitting for intermediates. So Bowden trying to stay with Daguna. Whale in 3rd. Nice gap from WPUI in 4th. So we've got Thomas and Pete having a little battle. The Ferrari right on the tail of the McLaren. As he slips through, McLaren tries to come back at him. Don't think he can. Gets a nice exit out of the corner. Can he chase down the Ferrari? Getting a bit of battle from behind from the AlphaTauri of Wallace. As he slips through on the inside, is he? Nope. While all this is happening, Lycorius is joining in the fun. Got Whale right on the tail of Bowden. As we just stay with this battle to see if anything will happen. Wallace was saying he was struggling with his setup in the chat. He seems to be doing okay on race pace, as he's literally pushing that McLaren round the final corner. 2/10. Can he send it into the first corner? He's having a look. I think he's too far back. Yep. So we will have a look to see if Whale can make any inroads into the Ferrari. Laguna is now 1.5 clear as the Ferrari and the Alfa Romeo battle each other. Got Thomas through to 6, chasing down his old SRL compatriot Wolsey. Looks like he might be making a move pretty soon. Wolsey just slipping out of DRS at WPUI. Thomas trying to keep them tyres cool in the wet. Oh, nice move there by the McLaren in the background, defending. Oh, looks like the Ferrari should be able to get past the AlphaTauri in the next couple of corners. Seems to have a superior pace. Whale still being held up by Bowden for 2nd and 3rd. Pete and Wallace continuing that battle in the background, as you can see. The AlphaTauri slips through on the inside of the McLaren. Wolsey goes a bit wide. Will that give Thomas the advantage around the outside? Yes, it does. Nice overtake. Wolsey tries to come back at him, but backs out as he's joined by his teammate. So we've got 2 Alfa Romeos there. AlphaTauri, sorry. Pete slips down to 11th. Might have lost the back end a little bit. VX picks up another penalty. So we'll just keep an eye on these penalties. The maximum ones we've got is VX in 6th. Well, now Dino joins him. Well, Thomas seems to be making decent drive up to now, getting chased by Wallace and Wolsey. So will Wolsey let his teammate through, or will he try and stick it out for glory? Got Dino having a nice drive apart from the penalties. Looks like Wolsey might have just clipped one of the speed cones. Guna is now 2 seconds clear at the start. Will be interesting if the track dries up with a couple of laps to go. We've got Kemmons, I think, has crashed. Sector 2. Or spun. Yeah, looks like Kemmons has spun. Just moving out the way of the Alpine there. Very sportsman-like driving. VX having a little race at the back on his own. So everyone is sandwiched. Oh, Whale picks up 3-second penalty. That's going to come into play on is sandwiched in a Aston. So Whale will want to get past Bowden now. Try and break 3 seconds clear. Because getting stuck behind him isn't going to help with the final timetable comes in. WPUI is trying to join this party. As we see Whale trying to set himself up for the faster line to challenge the Ferrari. WPUI spinning the back a little bit there. We'll stay with these guys, as this seems to be the closest battle out there. Got Dino chasing down Licorius. Got Whale right on the back of Bowden now, as he looks like he's trying to send it up the inside. Both cars come round the corner, which is good to see. 2 different lines through the fast right hand. It looks like the Alpha might just have the inside, as the Ferrari forces him to take the inside there. Oh, and there's contact. Oh, I think the Ferrari maybe could have given him a little bit more room there, but that's only from the angle I could see. So we will leave that one to the stewards, I'm guessing. So WPUI slipped through into second due to that, but he has penalties. Bowden doesn't have penalties, and Thomas doesn't have penalties, so the 2 Ferraris are looking good for being clean of pens. So that might help them out come the end of the race. So we will just have a little look at what them penalties are. The Guna is on 8 penalties, 8-second penalties, so that has pretty much ruined this race. WPUI is on 3, so he will slip down to second if it stays like this. Whale and Wallace both on penalties, so the Ferraris are looking good in 3rd and 5th retrospectively, with 0 penalties. Got a couple of guys making moves in the midfield, Lycorius and Dino. Pete and Wolsey all having a battle there. So we've got Dino with the Williams, I think it is. So Lycorius will be wanting to get past Dino. Got Bowden in 4th now, with his teammate. So the 2 Ferraris clean pens in 4th and 5th. Just need to stay within 8 seconds of the leader. If they work together, they should be able to pull themselves up nicely. Oh, everyone on intermediate still. Track doesn't look like it's drying up anytime soon. Still quite wet out there. A nice 6 laps to go and a track drying up would be interesting though. So your top drivers are Daguna in first still, now 3.5 seconds clear, but with 8-second penalties. WPUI in second with 3-second penalties. Whale in third with 3-second penalties, but does have the speed to get 3 seconds clear maybe. Bowden, who always has good seems to have a good strategy for races, in 4th and 5th. Wallace, who always works his way through the field well, in 6th. Wolsey's doing a fine race in the other Alpha Tauri, keeping a nice steady 7th with no pens. Got a yellow in sector 2 as the guys at the back are battling, Vanderburn and Kemmens. Another 3-second penalty for VX, so he is well out of the race. I think that's 9 now. Got Wallace just trying to stay with the Ferraris. No real battles to speak of. Peter and Monster probably close. The McLaren and the Haas. Everyone else seems to be at least 7 tenths, 6 tenths of each other, which is what normally happens with wet races. So we will jump up to see Daguna. As you normally find when you're out in front, you don't really have much action to be viewed, but we will go through the track. So we got Daguna there sitting 2.7 seconds, so WPUI is catching him slightly bit by bit. VX has left the set. Pit lane. Got WPUI in second. Got Whale 4 seconds behind him. Seems to struggle in the rain a little bit. Don't know whether that might be because he hasn't got a wet setup on. Bowden is 1 second behind him. And then we've got Bowden's teammate Thomas in 5th. In 6th we find Wallace, who is probably the closest to challenging. We'll stay on board with Wallace and see if he can get onto the back of the Ferrari to make a move. We've also got Pete and Monster having a little battle in 11th and 10th. Pete clear of pens. Lycorius, Thomas, Bowden and Arkilly is pitting. See what tyres Arkilly jumps on, whether he's going for a fresh set of inters. Don't think it's full wets yet. The X is back in. Oh, mediums. Interesting. I don't think there's that much of a dry line for for medium tyres, but we will soon see. No, that's not medium tyres. No way near. I'll be very surprised if he can keep this on the... Yeah, he's made a bad mistake there. It was worth a gamble, I guess, but... Nah, definitely not a medium. Nah, he's all over the shop. I've got to say, Arkilly, I think you've made a bad error there. I'll be very surprised if he gets around this without spinning. I mean, maybe you thought it was a gamble worth taking, but I mean, just look at that track. There's no dry line. And it's definitely not mediums. Nah. No chance. It's about 6 laps off. And then pens aren't going to help. Yeah. Started 3rd on the grid, had an incident, slipped down to 11th, and just hasn't recovered, I don't think. Right, so unfortunately for Arkhill, he finds himself in last place. So let's shoot down to Pete, as he seems to be getting relatively closer to Monster, but then it opens up a little bit again. So that's the closest gap we've got, I think. Dino is getting closer to Wolsey. Two ex-SRL guys going against each other. Just a shout out, SRL is coming back on Thursdays once we start getting a few more guys on the grid. Took a year out due to other commitments, but we are coming back with F122 racing soon. So if anyone out there is interested in joining, all assists are welcome. No prejudice against what AI you run. So Daguna is keeping a steady 2.5 at the top, with WPUI in second, Whale in third, still 4 seconds. Looks like Dino might be going for a move on the AlphaTauri here. Oh, a little bit of a tag there. I'll leave that one to the stewards. So Wolsey continues on. Dino has lost. Arkhill gets 10 seconds penalty. I think he might be heading towards the pit in the next lap or two. Unless he's going for the fastest lap in his own head. Oh, mate. He just gets no luck. So, Daguna is still your leader, 2.5 seconds. WPUI in second. We've got Whale in third. 4.2 seconds behind the Mercedes. Trying to chase down Wolsey again after that incident, and I think that might be Arkhill retiring. Yeah, sorry to see, mate. Lycorius in 9th, just trying to get his place back off Dino after the incident with Wolsey, which will probably go to the steward's room. For me, I don't know. I think Dino was on the left, and I think Wolsey took the racing line. But quickly correct if you see a car on your inside, so it could be a racing incident. We've got Monster, who is now right on the tail of Lycorius, so we will stay with Bruce for a bit. VX gets past Kemmons, who's had one of them races as well. Started on pole and just found his way further and further down after staying out on hard tyres after the safety car. I mean, the 3 guys who stayed out on hard tyres, one's DNF'd, and one's in 14th and one's in 13th. So it obviously wasn't the best choice, but I mean, I don't know, it's easy to say when you're commentating on things like this, but I thought it was wet enough for intermediates after the first lap of the safety car, but them guys chose to stay out. Arkhill made the gamble, jumped onto mediums, just clearly did not work. Daguna, who started 5th on the grid, jumped up to 1st on the first lap into the first corner. Pitting for intermediate, found himself in 5th place, and the 4 guys in front of him were on the hard tyre. Crashed. Where has Ben the Burn crashed? On the back straight, and that brings out another safety car, so Arkhill probably could have stayed out. I mean, he'd have been well down, like, but will anyone pit for new intermediates? Yes. So I asked for a drying track with a couple of laps to go, but Oh, WPY's got on softs. I think Bowden might have made the right choice here, because it's going to be at least 2 laps behind the safety car, which will put it up to lap 24, and then it's going to be 3 or 4 laps of racing, 3 laps maybe max on intermediates. I mean, Thomas has pit for softs, so maybe he was just doing the opposite of what Bowden did, but that track for me still, will it dry so much under safety car? It might do. I mean, it stopped raining. Oh, it's a tough one. It's a tough one if you're on the track. I mean, I'd have probably done what the grid did. If I was midfield and I seen the leaders pit, then I'd knew they were going on to soft tyres. But would I stay out for race position like Bowden? I mean, Wallace has got pens, so he might as well go for the gamble, because a safety car, it's going to bunch everyone up, and pens are going to cripple you anyway. Oh, it's tough. It's tough. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see what happens. I mean, Dino with the 10-second pen, that's crippled him, and he was in 8th. Knackered him. I mean, what are the penalties? 21 seconds for Dino. You're pretty much knackered. The Goon has lost his 5 second for saved it under the pit. Did Bowden just jump in the pits then? Why didn't he go in earlier? I mean, he's going to slip right the way down now. He'll probably get out about 9th maybe. So, we find Wallace at the front. I mean, that track still looks wet. And he's got 3-second penalties, so this is going to be a fun last, I said, a drying track with a couple of laps to go. He'll bring everyone into it nicely. So will the soft guys be able to get them hot enough to get a good jump at the start? I think Wallace might have played it well here. I mean, only he'll know how his car's reacting, but Pete stayed out, which might be worth a gamble. He's clear of pens, so if there's guys in front start struggling, Thomas and Wolsey, Bowden, all on softs. Maybe one of the Ferraris could have stayed on intermediates in case softs weren't the right choice. I mean, safety car should be in this lap. I mean, them guys at the back aren't going to catch up, but so it's going to be a 2 or 3 lap shootout. Can Wallace hold on again like he did in the last race I did comms on, where he went for track position? I mean, pens will work out well for Thomas, Wolsey and Bowden if they can stay within 3 seconds of everyone else up in front. If Wallace's tyres don't work and he holds everyone up, then that'll even be better for them. It's going to be hard to pick a winner out of these guys. Shout out what you think in the chat. I'm thinking Wallace holds on. But it is going to be a tough one. Personally, I still think that track's too wet. Well, we've got guys in the background swapping places, so has he spun on his soft? So that could be an issue. I mean, is that hard? I mean, Yeah, I'm thinking Wallace for the win as well, Mr. Wallace. The track definitely looks too wet. The guys on softs are. Ah, that's his dad. Yeah. I think your son might have pulled a blinder here. Well, we will soon find out as the safety car is in this lap. But with the guys further back struggling on soft tyres, I don't think WPUI can get enough heat into his softs to challenge. So it's going to be on the first corner. If Wallace gets through the first corner and can break away, I think his 3-second penalties, I think he might hold on for the win. It's just the Ferrari. It's the Ferraris I'm worried might challenge him. If they can stay within 3 seconds, because that track is definitely not drying out. Oh, it's going to be a tense one. It's going to be exciting but tense. I'm thinking if one of these soft runners spins on this corner and causes carnage. Right, off we go then. Safety restart. And we've got Wallace in the lead on intermediates with everyone behind him on soft. And he's gone, Wallace. So green flag, back to racing, and Wallace is 1.2 seconds clear now on the intermediates. Them soft runners are obviously struggling. Yep. 2.6 seconds, so all Wallace needs to do is just drive clean. 3-second penalties, he's already 3 seconds clear of second place, so that puts him well clear of the guys with no penalties. Got WPUI in second, who's now 4 seconds clear, so it was definitely not dry enough. So I am keeping an eye on Pete here, because he is going to start rifling through that pack now. He's literally made up 2 places and 3 seconds already on the guys. So he's got Wolsey, Bowden and Thomas, and he's clear of Penn, so Pete could be looking at a podium here, as he is literally flying past the soft runners. He's now up to 7th and 3 tenths off, and he's got another place there. So Bowden and Thomas are next. Wallace is now 5 seconds clear. So was definitely the right choice, as I first thought when he stayed out. Pete is through into 5th. He's done both Ferraris on the inside, and he's now got Whale. He's pretty much worked himself. He could work himself into the first place here, Pete. I mean, hats off to him. He's clear of Pens. He's done another one on the inside, and he's through into 4th. He's got the Gooner ahead of him. He's literally going to take the Gooner into that first corner, guaranteed. Nope, holds off. So Wallace is now 6.3 seconds. The Gooner's got a 3-second penalty, so that won't help him out. Pete just needs to keep it clean, and he could work himself into first place here. So Pete's through into 4th. Just got to get past the Gooner. WPUI is now 7.6 seconds behind Wallace. Pete is through. The Gooner is spun. Not too sure what happened there. I was looking at the times on the left hand side. So Pete is through into 3rd place. He is 2.1 seconds off WPUI. VX is making up places as well on the intermediates. Fresh intermediates for these 2 guys, Pete and VX. Wallace is on old intermediates. He stayed out on the safety car. So hopefully he hasn't quit. So with 2 laps to go, we've got Pete flying through the pack, Wallace holding on out in front with his old tyres on. He's literally gone. Coming across the start straight now as people are still coming into the final 2 corners. WPUI struggling on the soft tyres, trying to keep it clean. Literally got Pete flying up his arse. So Wallace is now 8.1 seconds clear, so even with his penalties he will be in first unless Pete can have an absolute blinding 2 laps. So we'll bring up the penalties so everyone could see them. So BX on the intermediates as well, so you've only got 2 guys on intermediates at the minute, everyone else went and put tyres on. So Pete is now on WPUI's rear end, and he's literally going to blitz past them into this corner. So Pete has got 8.6 seconds, so a net 5-second lead Wallace has got. So Pete needs a blistering 2 laps here, and he could get his first win. Daguna's back, but he's welled out. Wallace is just coming round the middle of sector 3. Pete is now left. WPUI, yeah, he's got past him. Track seems to be drying up a bit more now. Track is nearly dry, so soft tyres might start coming into play now. Because Pete cannot seem to shake WPUI. So last lap, Wallace goes across the start straight into section 1. Pete is now 3.7 seconds behind. Oh, finished. I thought there was 1 lap left. So Wallace gets the win. Pete gets second, only 3.7 seconds behind. Good race from Pete there, stayed out in intermediates. Thomas gets third, clear of pens, and WPUI gets fourth. Miscalculated on how many laps were left there, boys. But well done, Wallace. Great strategy staying out, as I predicted. It just was not wet enough or dry enough for the soft tyres. So I will just go through the grid as I cocked up on counting the laps. So your winner is Wallace, and I think that's his first win, so congratulations to him. Pete, brilliant last couple of laps there to get second. Thomas in third, clear from pens. For WPUI, Bowden again, another great race from him, made up lots of places and clear of pens. Whalen 6th, Wolsey 7th, 8th VX, the other intermediate runner. Lycorius 9th, and Monster in 10th. As you'll see from the highlights, everyone apart from 2 people, well 3 people, went in for soft tyres on the wet track, and it was just not the right choice. Pete made up lots of places from 11th. Wallace stayed out and was clear. So great drive from Wallace there. Driver of the day for me is Pete in the McLaren. Well, I'm going to give it a joint one. I'm going to say Wallace and Pete. Wallace for his great thinking and staying out there, and for Pete for making up all the places. So that was round 7, I think, in France. We will be back here same time, same day, Monday, and I will see everyone then. Goodbye.